Students, Lecture 12 is here, and today we're talking about time management, study plus play balance. No more, I don't have time excuses. Welcome, students. By the end of this class, you'll have a simple plan to manage your studies, hobbies, and rest. Let's learn how to be smart with time, because the students who manage time top the class. Welcome, students. Lecture 12 is here, and today we're talking about time management, study plus play balance. Ready? Let's begin. Chapter 12, The Time Legacy You Will Create. Time is not something that you control. Rather, it is something that you must spend wisely, because how you spend your time will create your legacy. In this chapter, we learn to move our thinking from productivity to purpose. We explore how we should spend our time not only for a successful life, but also to create an impactful legacy, because in the end, nobody will care about how quickly you could do things. They will care about how well you lived. 12.1 You are always leaving a legacy, whether you intend to or not. Legacy is not something that you should think about only when you are nearing the end of your life. This is not true, because legacy does not involve something you leave behind after death. Instead, legacy is something that involves everything you do every day. In fact, your legacy involves everything from your words to your actions, presence, energy, and decisions. What most people do not understand is that they have been leaving a legacy all along. While many people may assume that it involves doing something significant like starting a business, writing a book, or getting into fame, they will never realize that they are leaving a legacy every day. Legacy does not involve what is on the wall. It is more about the emotional residue that you leave behind in your kids, co-workers, and family members. Once you accept this reality, your focus will shift from seeking reputation to living in awe. In other words, everything you do, say, and think will be done with consideration and respect, because you will realize that what you are doing is more than just living your life, but creating something that will continue on after you have passed. 12.2 The start of legacy starts with being present on purpose. Legacy does not happen at some point in the future. Legacy starts now with how well you can be present now. You cannot make a difference if you are not present in that moment. It is too easy for us all to go through life in our heads, running far ahead while our bodies occupy our places at the dinner table, in the office, or beside those we care about. But being present is powerful. Presence implies, you matter to me. Presence implies, I am not just physically here, I am here for you. And that kind of energy creates trust, creates memories, makes an impact. Your loved ones will not necessarily remember what you said to them, but they will never forget how much you have made them feel like you see them. This is the essence of creating a legacy. Do you want to make a mark for yourself in this world? Then begin by being present. Being fully present, put your phone down. Look a person in the eye. Don't wait until after to formulate your response. Give the space for others to be more than just a thing on your checklist. 12.3 Your approach to time management is an approach to teaching others how to live. It is important to realize that your approach to time management is not something private. On the contrary, it affects other people's lives. Whatever you do, you teach other people how to live. If you are always busy, distracted, and hurried, you teach other people that life is frantic. On the other hand, if you are relaxed and focused, you teach them to keep their calm even in a fast world. Your kids, your teammates, your friends, and your neighbors are not only listening to you, they are watching you. And over time, your tempo sets the tone. You are setting them free to either slow down or speed up, to be urgent or intentional. This is legacy. This is not a talk. It is a standard. This is not an explanation. It is an example. When you desire to leave behind something that will outlive you, do not leave behind just the knowledge, but leave behind a template. Have your life exemplify the kind of ambition that exists, the type of boundaries that exist, the form of presence, peace, and purpose that can be achieved in a Tuesday afternoon. 12.4% legacy is created through repetitive small instances. People search for that one defining moment that will establish their legacy. However, legacy cannot be created through just one instance, but in repetitive instances in the patterns of your everyday life. This could include the ways in which you are always dependable. It would also include how you react to inconveniences and how you treat those whom you know cannot repay you. The world is always going to tempt you to take a bold move. Yet, it is not the grandiose moves that create a lasting legacy. What builds the greatest legacy are the daily displays of integrity. It is about holding the door open. It is about offering words of encouragement. It is about saying thank you. It is about being truthful when lying would have been easier. Consider the individuals who had an effect on you. More than likely, it's not because they were famous, rich, or extravagant. It's because of their kindness, their calmness, their dependability, their role model status. You might not be able to control the magnitude of your effect, but you can definitely control the content. 12.5 What you tolerate is what others will copy. Whatever decision you make, whatever action you condone, whatever standard you silently set, that sets the tone for others too. Even when you don't realize it, you are setting a pattern because others are always watching, especially those closest to you, your children, your co-workers, your partners, your friends, and what you tolerate will become what they copy. If you keep pushing yourself, others will think exhaustion is the price to pay for advancement. If you sacrifice your commitments for any and every request, others will think boundaries are not necessary. If you do things by the easiest way, others will take the same path that you chose. However, it also works in reverse. If you stand your ground, tell the truth, and lead with integrity, others will match your level. Legacy is not about how much you do. Rather, it is about how much you allow. Whenever you decide to up your standards, then you increase the temperature for everybody else. It doesn't happen by coercion, but through repetition. People always tend to emulate what they observe frequently. So you have to ask yourself, what am I normalizing without even saying a word? 12.6 Your legacy lies in others, not necessarily projects. We generally believe that our legacy lies in the work that we do, businesses built, books written, platform built, product developed. While it is true that such accomplishments are important, it does not mean much. Our most lasting legacy lies in others, people we have helped, people we have mentored, and people we have dignified. People remember us more for the way we made them feel than what we did. It's simple enough to calculate the metrics, revenue, reach, results, but those are numbers that will fall away. Not falling away is the seed of faith you have planted in one who was unsure of himself, the strength you have given through your consistent presence, the counsel you offered when they were at a loss. These are not afterthoughts in your legacy, they are the bedrock. A legacy is created through people because people create their legacies. They take your goodwill into places you will never go. They repeat your lessons in moments you will never know. And when you choose people above yourself, above efficiency, above flawlessness, your legacy shifts from what you've left behind to what you're creating. 12.7 It's not enough to live a life. Create a message. The way you live is going to have more impact than anything you say. So live a message that others should remember. Make your consistency convey the message your social media fails to convey. Make your actions speak louder than your words. Make your life a message of truth and resilience. Because at the end of the day, your life is a message. What does your life say about itself right now? Is your life speaking whispers of peace or cries of chaos? Is your life speaking alignment or distraction? Are people inspired to live authentically through your life story, or are they drawn into the same trends and fads as everyone else? The beautiful thing is that no stage, no pulpit, and no megaphone is needed to make a difference in the world. When you choose to have presence rather than pressure, integrity rather than an impression, and love rather than ego, then you say something really strong. And what you are saying is that there is another way. It's a deeper way. It's an honest way. That is what the world needs to hear. And when you live like that, your legacy will truly resonate. 12.8 Multiply your most important stuff. Your legacy is not just what you've done. Your legacy is also what you've multiplied. This is because your legacy includes what values, skill sets, mindsets, and worldview you have taught others. Most people seek to magnify their successes, yet the people that will make real impact in this world are the people who end up multiplying their knowledge. How can we multiply things like courage, curiosity, compassion, excellence, simplicity? What is it we'd like to see multiplied in our world? Do it with such authenticity that people catch it from us without our even saying anything. That is multiplication. We aren't making ourselves busier. We're putting seeds into people that will multiply for decades to come. Legacy multiplication does not necessitate a huge platform either. Legacy multiplication merely requires deliberate transfer, discussion at this place, story at that place, listening ear, teaching point, gentle correction. This is what creates an exponential impact. How? Because legacy multiplication creates an echo of your life that will keep on ringing long after you are gone. 1209 Don't wait until the end to start. The most prevalent myth when it comes to legacy is that it happens at the end, that there needs to be some sort of destination before anything counts. That there is a requirement for maturity, recognition, or status before you can say anything valuable was done in your lifetime. The reality is that legacy starts when you begin to live with intention and ask yourself, what am I writing today? You don't need to be old to leave a legacy. You don't need to be wealthy, powerful, or finished with your goals. All you need is the courage to live each day as if it counts. Because it does. And when you show up in that mindset, you stop waiting for life to become meaningful. You start making it meaningful now. The practice of legacy is an everyday act. It exists in your dealings with the barista as well as with the investor. It exists in your ability to say sorry, to forgive, to talk to yourself in the mirror. Every instance represents the choice between legacy and convenience. When you start creating your life with the former in mind, the result will be a life that others will thank you for later on. 12.10 Live like what you do makes a difference, because it does. Legacy is not something to worry about when you're at death's door. It's something to help guide you through each day. Each conversation, each choice, each time you show up and act with intention, that becomes the building blocks of your legacy. In this module, you have discovered that you are creating a legacy whether you intend to or not. That presence beats perfection. That small steps, consistently taken, create the greatest impact. You have been told that if you tolerate something, you are teaching it. That your life speaks louder than any advice you might give. That people are more important than projects. That how you live is the strongest message that you will ever send out. And that you do not need to get older or wiser in order to live a life that leaves a legacy. Live with respect. Live with awareness. Live with kindness and courage. Make a life that will have a voice even after you are long dead. Because a legacy is not something that you leave behind. 12.11 You are not just living, you are investing. When you choose to have presence rather than pressure, integrity rather than an impression, and love rather than ego, then you say something really strong. And what you are saying is that there is another way. It's a deeper way. It's an honest way. That is what the world needs to hear. And when you live like that, your legacy will truly resonate. Once you realize this, you don't see time as something to be wasted. You won't exchange time for anything else. You will not pay the greatest respect to the least important tasks. Instead, you will begin to manage time with great care, and you will start to ponder more deeply on such matters. Is this something that will really matter in 5 years? What kind of impact does this choice have? Your time is spent either creating something you can be proud of for years to come, or else wasting away into the past without leaving behind any trace at all. The price you pay when your time isn't purposeful will be a legacy of regret. The payoff when your time is well invested, on the other hand, is a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime. Time does not recycle itself. There is no second chance for today. What's done cannot be undone. But even though time does not repeat itself, it does resonate. The consequences of what you do with this time, this opportunity, this season, it echoes in relationships, behaviors, culture, even future generations. A single act of generosity from you today might be celebrated by a grandchild that you have never even met. A choice of honesty now could resonate in your family tree for years to come. That's the magic and mystery of time. It is invisible but not insignificant. It is transient but leaves an impression on eternity. Most people don't realize how far their current decisions will impact them because they are judging their current actions only for today. But the wise look at the bigger picture. They know their actions have ramifications. That said, use your time wisely, as it is a priceless commodity. Speak with strength in your voice. Act with integrity at heart. Organize systems with clarity of thought. Lead your life with wisdom in mind. You don't get time back, but it grows in number, and when you live on purpose in this life, you'll have a legacy that lasts beyond your years. 12.13. Your actions today are needed for the future. In the future, there will be individuals whose lives will be impacted by your decisions. They might never know your name. They will probably never even get to see you. But the manner in which you govern yourself, the work that you do, and the patterns you create will ease someone's way through life. Each time you make a commitment to yourself to heal, become more clear, structured, and generous, you are not only creating your life, you are creating someone else's life. Reflect on the innovations you have made. The literature that was your guide, the people who helped steady your ship, the truths you discovered that would have cost you years had you not found them. Someone created that for you before you needed it. They valued time so you could be fast. You don't have to work for the clapping hands. Work for the influence. Work for the girl that you are yet to meet. Work for the colleague you will be working with in 10 years. Work for the stranger who is going to read the entry you will write and understand everything. You are not just wasting time, you are offering something to the future. Make it worthwhile. 12.14. The basis for peace in the future resides in time ownership. Peace is not about having no chaos. It is about having clarity. And this clarity begins with how you control your time. If you are a slave to whatever tells you when and where to go, if you spend your best hours in distraction, if you do things not because you are in alignment with them, but because you feel obligated to do so, then you will not just lose efficiency, but peace too. Having control over your time is not really what owning time is all about. Rather, it is more about being aware of the fact that when you say yes to something now, you are signing a contract for the future. Every single second stolen from you now will need to be paid back tomorrow. But there is also good news. Peace in the future is not something that happens by chance. Peace in the future happens intentionally, in decisions made behind closed doors, in moments set aside when it's easy to give up on them, in routines created when there simply isn't enough time. The future you own comes from time you own in the present. 12.15. A designed life turns into legacy blueprint. When you live your life deliberately, you are no longer just living days. You become a blueprint that people can follow. You are not merely scheduling your time, but rather creating a design for handling stress, preserving your peace, and pursuing your purpose. This design is bound to outlive you, not only because people adopt your philosophy, but they also take over your method system. That's why the importance of living a designed life can't be overstated. It's not about how it makes one look good. No, it's about how it can be applied to one's life. You live something with discipline that others can study with admiration. You plan something in your planner that someone can have in his or her heart. Your legacy goes beyond your actions. It is your perspective toward your actions. If your perspective is reflective, replicable and realistic, you are not simply encouraging someone to have an epiphany. You are giving him/her an infrastructure from which she can build her own. You are not known for inventing anything. You are known for embodying it. 12.16. Value time, as if the future generations already have the right to it. It is not only yours, but the time belongs to the future generations who will be growing up in the world that you have created. Every second that you spend on refining yourself, gaining clarity, and leading with compassion is one less second that they will have to struggle to gain the same understanding as you have. Think about time as an inheritance, not in the sense of dollars and cents, but in wisdom and stability and structure, either chaos or clarity inherited, either scarcity or power. Through the protection of your mornings, you impart the gift of rhythm to others. Through the pursuit of excellence, you impart the gift of excellence to others. Because your time belongs to your kids, your community, your team, because in many ways it does. Do not squander your time in ways that could prevent your kids from standing on it one day. Develop systems that will endure. Say no to making hurry normal. Allow room for contemplation, because when your time becomes sacred, your legacy becomes sustainable. 12.17 You will be remembered for how you made time for people. No one will remember how many things you checked off your to-do list, but they will remember how you showed up for them. Not just physically, but emotionally. Legacy is measured in moments of presence, how you made time when they needed you, how you listened without rushing, how you paused to celebrate, comfort, or simply be there. In a world where distractions are everywhere, being present is the currency of love. Each time you glance at something other than your smartphone, each time you focus your complete attention on someone else, each time you make the effort to be completely present, you are sending the message, I see you. And this is one of the most valuable legacies you can pass on. What your loved ones will not recall is the year when your company reached a new level or the speed at which your inbox was emptied out. What they will remember is that you made them feel important, valued, and worth your full presence. This is a gift time can bestow, and nothing you do professionally can take its place. Ultimately, your legacy will not only be defined by what you have accomplished, but by whom you helped succeed. 12.18 Time becomes trust with consistency. Consistency is one of those wonderful gifts of time that often gets overlooked. It's not some grand statement or some kind of breakthrough, it's simply the act of showing up. When you honor your commitment, when you follow through on your word, and when you show that you have the rhythms of reliability, that is when time transforms into trust. It is not something that one can achieve overnight, but gradually. It forms in the process of waking up, of checking yourself in the mornings, of difficult conversations, and of daily routine. In the moment that other people realize that you control your time in an organized way, they not only admire but respect you. Are you aiming to create something memorable about yourself? Try being reliable rather than merely spectacular. Let your reputation be based on consistency rather than simply on performance, because eventually consistency will become character and character will become credibility. Ultimately, it is not those who were impressed but those who witnessed you do what you did that will trust you the most. 12.19 The making of a legacy doesn't require speed, it requires depth. Everyone worships haste, hustle, productivity, but legacy is made at a different pace. It isn't made with speed, it is made with depth, with slowness, with reflection, with making something that has lasting meaning, not just quick success. You don't have to be everywhere, you have to be completely present wherever you are, and when you are, you make more profound things. You will find yourself wanting to go faster, because you want to keep yourself busy, because you want to create momentum. But stop for a second and ask yourself, if I am doing something fast but wrong, what does it matter? It means nothing if you are not even there, and you cannot have efficiency without purpose. But by slowing down, you can create something that trends cannot take away from you. Depth is what turns time into legacy, because while people might forget about your timeline, they will never be able to forget the depth of your existence, the depth of your love, the depth of your influence. And depth is about living below the surface, not because of any need to be recognized, but in order to be aligned. 12.20 Time management is the essence of leadership. One cannot be a leader without being a leader of one's time. The calendar reflects true values, regardless of our professed beliefs. Good leadership starts with time management. When others see how you organize your priorities, how you think, how you guard your time, and how often you go back to what matters, you will be followed by example. To be an effective leader to others, one first needs to become an effective leader to oneself. Control over exhaustion, organization over chaos, flow over impulse. This does not imply rigidity. This implies being grounded in what is truly important, being grounded in who you are, being grounded in where you need to get to. Your legacy as a leader won't be built in speeches, it will be built in scheduling, in how you show up, in what you guard, in what you sacrifice and what you refuse to sacrifice. And if you lead your time well, your team, your family, your world will feel it. Because time stewardship is leadership in motion, and legacy in real time. 12.21 You cannot take time with you, but you can precede it. Time cannot be saved. Time cannot be accumulated. It cannot be stored somewhere and then accessed again. What time can do is precede us. We can invest our time into people, processes, narratives, and values that will outlast us. This is what time can do for us. It fades away once we spend it, but becomes more powerful once we give it away. Whenever you teach, whenever you write, whenever you film, whenever you coach, whenever you demonstrate, you send time into the future, your own future. The future of other people you will never see. Time, when sent outright, is eternal not because it never ends, but because its effects are. Thus, use your time today not in holding it but in planting it, wisdom, people, design, and purposefully. Use each minute as a message, and each hour as a brick. Time cannot come with you wherever you go. However, it allows you now to create something that will speak when you are long gone. That is the legacy of time. 12.2% to conclusion. The greatest gift that you can give is time. Use it as such. You can make more money. You can build up a larger platform. You can revamp your brand. But you cannot make any more time. That is because time is your greatest gift. Not just for you alone, but for all those people that have to inherit what you've left behind. You have now learned that time is not only a means, but a transmitter. It transmits your values, your standards, your love, your wisdom. Not only to the next week, but to the next generation. You've been told that time reverberates, time multiplies, and time educates. That speed is not your necessity, but rather substance. That what you do today will become the building blocks of someone's tomorrow. That your legacy will not be defined in terms of fame, but in terms of faithfulness, and that you can misuse time and live to tell about it, or you can harness time and make a difference. So steward your time with reverence, give it with grace, protect it with boldness, and spend it in a way that one day, when someone tells your story, they'll say, because they used their time well, I could too. Great job, everyone. Today we learned the secret, balance. Plan your study time, enjoy your playtime, and don't waste either. Small habits today equal to big success tomorrow. Thanks for being here and paying attention. Have a productive day.